if anybody's been paying attention, I talked about it on here, and everybody kept telling me like, no way, Sam Darnold. There's no way. And I'm like, look, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, I'm watching Sam Darnold. I'm seeing what he's doing, and I feel like I'm seeing what Kyle Shanahan's going to like. We talked about it on Locked On 49ers. All right. We come at you 5 days a week, myself, Brian Peacock. And on there, we were, I think we just asked it. If you listen to the episode that dropped this morning, and we recorded it yesterday, so if you watched the YouTube version, you could have seen it. But, Peacock asked the question, who is the better quarterback too? And I'm like, Sam Darnold. He's the better QB2 for the 49ers. And I think my reasoning for why I felt like Sam would be a better QB2 option over Trey Lance had to do with knowing more of what you're getting. And I'm not even talking about with Sam Darnold knowing more of what he's been in the past. I made the comparison right here on this show about, comparing him to a woman, right? And how, you look at a female's past and you look at all the negative things that you don't like and all this. Oh, she used to do this, she did this. It's like, man, you're gonna hold her whole past against her, right? Like, how does she treat you? And if you ask Kyle Shanahan right now, how has Sam Darnold treated him? He probably say, you know what? Sam Darnold has treated me very well. When I watch practices, and this is going back, some of y'all remember when my bro was on here, all right? After we come in here and we talk about after practice, you just see this certain level of like fluidity with just the way that Sam Darnold moves and throws the ball and the areas and levels that he was throwing the ball to. It almost felt like he was a combination of both the quarterbacks, right? Like he was a combination of Brock Purdy, because you kind of see this just like, steadiness, hitting the check downs, making the right throws, all those things, right? You like consistently see those things. But then you also saw some of the splashier throws, maybe not to the same extent as Trey Lance, but you saw like just big arm ability, far hash sideline throws on the money with timing and rhythm. We saw that in the game as well. And, he's had a certain level of efficiency in the game. I know we saw 2 interceptions, but both balls that went off of Ronnie Bell's hands, he has played well without giving you the ugly. All right. So, why was he named QB2? I think Kyle Shanahan just trusts more of what he's getting from Sam Darnold. And your QB2 typically isn't someone with a lot of upside unless you like eventually want to play the guy. I've said it. I don't think the 49ers care to play Trey Lance. Now, we're going to get to Trey Lance in a second, but right now we're going to keep it on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a former number 3 overall pick by the New York Jets. He went to a situation that wasn't great for him. Head coach changing. He's seeing ghosts. He got Adam Gase there. They got Adam Gase up out of there. They fired him, brought in the new staff, let go of one of his best weapons with Robbie Anderson. And I think we know, like, Robbie Anderson, not a great receiver, but that was his best option. All right. Wasn't surrounded by a ton of talent. Ultimately, he flamed out with the Jets. So what does he do? Gets traded over to the Carolina Panthers. He goes there. Not a great situation either. The head coach kind of on his way out. Eventually gets beat out by Baker Mayfield, right? And that competition felt kind of like this quarterback competition, where it was almost kind of rigged to make us feel like Trey Lance had a chance. But if you kind of listen to certain people and what they're saying, like, Lance never had a chance. He never had a chance. We're going to get to Trey Lance in a minute, and I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I'm saying and what I feel like some of the issues are and why maybe people are a little outraged by it. But ultimately with Sam Darnold, he's come to the 49ers, and he's been very steady. And the question was asked, and somebody put it on Twitter. I wish I kind of had the tweet, but they asked me, like, it's almost like if you are – if Brock Purdy goes down for 2 games, probably want Sam Darnold in there. Brock Purdy goes down for 10 games, 15 games, you probably want Trey Lance in there, because that's going to give Trey Lance that time to kind of build up that equity and probably start to grow into seeing a more consistent quarterback. But right now, Sam Darnold, he feels like a little bit more of the safer guy at the quarterback position. It really has more so to do with what Sam Darnold isn't doing. And I think you're not getting the lows that you get from Lance, but you also get some highs that you might not be able to get from Brock Purdy. So he's kind of like your perfect, steady backup. And I talked to some people on like the spaces on social media, and they were asking about Brandon Allen, right? And they're like, Brandon Allen, why is he even getting reps? Why is he on this team, et cetera? And I'm like, look, y'all, look around the league. What do backup quarterbacks look like? They're not these high ceiling type of guys. They're not these splashy guys. Like, They are just guys that, can I get the information to the starting quarterback? Can I help him be ready for the game? And then if somebody goes down, can I come in and keep things afloat? Typically, that's what a backup quarterback is. It's typically not someone that was a third overall pick and started and he broke his ankle, but he needs reps and he needs reps and he needs reps to continue to kind of get better. And, okay, but we want that guy behind. Like, that's typically not what your backup quarterback is. So it really is unfortunate for Trey Lance, but from Sam Darnold's perspective, based off of what I've seen from practices and then what we saw in the games, there's a certain level of steadiness that he's had. And of course, Kyle Shanahan, the control freak, he's going to want that because there's less of the, what's it going to look like from throw to throw? What's it going to look like from play to play? Are there going to be these erratic moments? All right. I think he feels like with Sam Darnold, he doesn't get that. He just gets steady play with kind of high ability. Because if we're being honest, and I've said this, listen, none of this stuff I'm saying because he's named QB2. All right, none of this stuff I'm about to say is because he's been named QB2. But I've said it. I feel like he's done things better than Brock Purdy in practices and in the games. Like, I've seen some things in the games, like throws he's able to make. And I'm not talking about in the games with the Panthers or the Jets. I'm talking about with the 49ers. When you kind of filter through the BS. Areas of the field where he just does things kind of effortless. It's better than Brock Purdy. Like the drive throws, his ability to throw down the field, hit guys in stride, the far half sideline throws. Like, and I'm not trying to hype up this guy. Like, trust me, I'm not. I'm just telling you what I see. And I was like, damn, these things are like, there's some of these things that's better than Brock Purdy. And then when you add the mobility, which obviously Brock Purdy, he can move around, he can wiggle. Sam is just as athletic, if not even a little bit more. So the fact that Kyle really liked him and named him QB2, I don't think that should come to a surprise to anyone here because I've been saying it over the last few days for sure. And anybody that's listening to Locked On 49ers, well, myself, Brian Peacock, 5 days a week, because we just talked about it really over the last couple of days. Like, this should not be a surprise. It should not be a surprise. When I saw the news, I'm like, I'm not surprised.